In this problem, I think this is a good example of a problem where a proportion, setting up some kind of proportion with fractions or ratios, can really help us understand. So here, this is a problem where proportions really help. And I think in general proportions help, but this is just one of those examples where the problem becomes far easier, I think, if we set up a proportion. And in this problem, we have this art teacher who mixes 20 ounces of yellow paint. So 20 ounces of yellow paint with 8 ounces of red paint. So 8 ounces of red paint. We'll set that ratio up. How many ounces of yellow paint would she need to mix with, 18 ounces of red paint to maintain the same proportion? Well, a proportion says that we have one ratio equal to one or more other ratios or fractions. So here this is going to be equal to just a larger amount of red paint, 18 ounces of red paint, right? So what amount of yellow paint, X yellow paint, should go into this proportion so that it's still the same thing as 20 over 8? And usually we might see it like this: 20 over 8 equals what out of 18? It's the same idea, just written in different ways. And the way I look at this is that we want to look somehow across this fraction to figure out what's going on. And here we're told again that 20 ounces of yellow paint for 8 ounces of red paint, and then we go from 8 ounces of red paint to 18. So my question is, one way I want to look at this is, what changed here with the red paint? How many groups of 8 did we add to get 18? I'm going to figure that out by thinking about 18 divided by 8. And what's that? Well, again, this is asking, how many times does 8 go into the number 18? Well, 8 times 2 is 16, and then there's 2 left over. So 8 times 2 is 16 with a remainder of 2 out of 8. And 2 out of 8 is what? That's just 1/4. So really, what's happening here is when we go from 8 to 18, we're taking 8 and multiplying it by 2 and 1/4, or 2.25. So this is what's called a scale factor, the number we're multiplying both parts by. So again, we're taking 8 ounces of red paint, multiplying it by 2 and 1/4 to get 18. We should do the same thing here, because we want to still maintain the same proportion. So X, this amount of yellow paint, equals 20 times 2.25. It's 20 times 2.25. How am I going to figure that out? Well, I'm going to think of 2.25 as 2 and 1/4. I think it's a friendlier way of dealing with this. And then 20 times this. I'm going to break this down part by part. So first I'm going to take 20 and multiply it by 2, which is 40. And then I'm going to take 20 and multiply it by 1/4. So when you take 20 and multiply it by 1/4, that's the same thing as saying 1/4 of 20. So let's write that over here, 20 times 1/4. And the way I multiply by 1/4 is to divide by 4. So this really equals 20 divided by 4, which is what? Well, that's 5, because 5 goes into 20, 4 goes into 20 5 times. So this is equal to, again, 20 times 2 is 40, 20 times 1/4 is 5. So we add those up, right, those two parts, and the answer is 45. So X equals 20 times 2 and 1/4, which is 45. So we need to use 45 ounces of yellow paint. And again, in these choices right here, 3 and 10 are automatically out, and so is 40. And let me just go over why for a moment. When we knew that we go from 8 ounces of red paint to 18, the amount of paint we're using increases. So why would we use less yellow paint than red paint? Yellow paint's always more. It's 20 to 8. So 3 is out. 10 is out for the same reason, because we have to have at least more than 18 ounces of red paint. So the only choices left at that point are 40 and 45, and 40 is out, because we knew 8 times 2 and something is 18, right? 8 times 2 is 16, that's too small. So 20 times 2, which is 40, is also too small. So even without doing this math, we could figure out that the answer's got to be 45. Alright, hope that helped.